Everyone talks about using AI to brainstorm, write copy, or automate things. But one of the most valuable and most overlooked uses of AI is understanding your customers. Hi, my name is Joshua Ebner. I'm a 20-year expert in AI, machine learning, and data science, and I actually did customer insights at Apple. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use AI techniques to uncover hidden customer insights, the kind that drive smarter strategy, better products, and stronger growth. So first, let's just talk about why customer insights matter. The companies that win with AI aren't just going to mindlessly implement AI agents and use large language models and other types of modern AI systems. The companies that win in the future, just like in the past, are going to be the ones that understand their customers the best. So you can use various AI techniques to find those customer insights, but then after you understand your customers, then you can implement a variety of other types of AI techniques that I talk about in other videos. So this is really one of the foundations of a solid AI strategy for your business. Next, let's start talking about some techniques. Two of the most important techniques that you can use are text analysis and sentiment analysis. Now, most companies have a variety of customer insights hidden in their text data, a variety of different types of text data. So surveys, especially open-ended questions where you ask them a question and have them write an answer, whatever answer they want. Other types of text data include things like reviews, support tickets, chat logs, emails, and so on. This text data can be an absolute gold mine of customer information. The problem is that no one typically reads them. But if you do it right, AI can. Now, for starters, most people are going to think about large language models, and large language models can help here. You can use an LLM to read through some of your data, maybe take some of your survey data or some chat logs and things like that, upload it into a large language model, and an LLM can often give you insights, but LLMs are often not the best tool for this. They sometimes lack accuracy, and they sometimes perform a little bit poorly at scale. There are other types of techniques like natural language processing and sentiment analysis techniques. Now, there are a variety of tools that you can use for this. One example is something called a BERT model, B-E-R-T. BERT models are typically much better at things like sentiment analysis and text categorization. They are often more accurate and operate quite a bit better at scale. So you can usually use a BERT model or a similar algorithm and build a system around that to do text analytics and sentiment analysis at scale. So by using these types of techniques, you can figure out what customers are feeling, why they're feeling that way, the things that they're frustrated with, the things that they're delighted by. And this can help you re-engineer your business processes, your marketing, your product, and your messaging. By the way, if you're serious about using AI in your business, you probably want to figure out if you're ready to start using AI. So find the link in the description below and go take my AI readiness assessment. It's about 16 questions. It'll take you only a few minutes. It's free. So find the link in the description below and evaluate how ready your business is to use AI effectively. The next way to find customer insights in your data is with a different set of techniques. And here I'm talking about segmentation. Now, in segmentation, what we're typically doing is we're taking a very large group of customers or prospects. We're taking a very large group and then we're finding subgroups. These subgroups often kind of naturally group together based on values, behaviors, perceptions, needs, and so on. So we typically use one of a variety of clustering algorithms to do this, although there's a variety of techniques that you can use. But ultimately, if you do this properly, you can identify different segments and figure out what their needs are, what their values are, what their frustrations are, maybe with your product. And those needs, values, perceptions, frustrations, those things can differ from one segment to another. So then once you have those insights about your customers in those different segments, you can start to sharpen your product. You can start to build a product plan, a marketing plan, a messaging plan. You can start to rebuild those things specifically for each segment, which can help you match your product and your marketing to what those groups value most. In turn, this can increase your customer sat, your retention, and ultimately your revenue. It's worth pointing out that many of the best companies in the world, FANG companies, large banks, they nearly all use this to sharpen their marketing and their product. I actually have a friend that used to work in product at Google. They use segmentation all the time. I've used it in my roles at large banks and technology firms. This is a standard tool, and right now it's often overlooked by people who are more excited right now about large language models and AI agents. But don't sleep on this. This can offer tremendous value for understanding your customers. Next, you can use AI to figure out the drivers of your customer behavior. So even if you understand your customers are behaving a certain way, or maybe that they're frustrated about something, maybe you see in your analyses that they have low satisfaction, they're frustrated about something, it's sometimes a little bit difficult to understand what the exact drivers are. So here you can use a variety of techniques, but especially certain types of predictive AI, but you're not necessarily using it to predict future behavior. You're trying to use predictive AI to figure out the drivers of particular outcomes or behavior. Let's say you have relatively low customer satisfaction among a particular group of customers. The question is, why? What's going on? You can use some of those text analytics and sentiment analysis techniques that I talked about previously, but you can also use certain types of supervised learning to shed light on this even further. So at a high level, what you're doing is you're taking the data that you have about those customers, their interactions with the business, their relationship with the business, their behaviors, and so on. You feed that data in, and then you also have the satisfaction score that they have with the business. And you figure out how the inputs connect to the satisfaction score. That's just one example. If you do this right with the right techniques, we're often going to be using things maybe like decision trees. You can also use certain techniques for discovering what we call feature importance. You can use these to figure out what's driving particular metrics or particular behaviors or particular outcomes that you're seeing. This can be very powerful. I have done this at some of the companies that I worked for. It was the bread and butter for figuring out why things were going wrong. And then we could use that information to re-engineer some of our processes and systems to drive more revenue, better customer sat, and overall better outcomes. AI for Customer Insights helps you understand your customers so you can serve them better, retain them longer, and grow your company faster. But some of the best leverage comes when you use those insights to create sharper messaging and better offers. So if you want to understand how you can turn those customer insights into better acquisition, higher levels of retention, and stronger revenue growth, check out this video here on AI for marketing.